When Degrassi, The Next Generation, set out on its mission to guide the teenagers of Canada through all the mishaps and dangers of adolescence, the writers were determined to leave no stone unturned, to leave not a single possible scenario a teenager could find oneself in unaddressed, no matter how small or improbable or cringy. When it came to issues of the day, Degrassi could have easily only concerned itself with the big ones, like all the other after-school special genre shows, abuse, addiction, sexuality, and whatnot. But if they had, we never would have learned such vital life lessons such as, don't take a Viagra pill before going on a first date to the steak restaurant all your classmates work at, or never pretend your dad personally knows Fall Out Boy, or what the fuck are Jay and Silent Bob doing here? We never appreciated it back then. But Degrassi was doing its damnedest, filling our heads up with all the potential cringy nightmare scenarios that could befall us. They had us living in constant paranoia and crippling social anxiety for our own good. However, the show would be in production for 10 years before making an episode tackling one of the biggest, most frightful threats to Western teenage development today. Of course, what I'm referring to is, writing real person fan fiction about your classmates and posting it online for all of them to see, and as a result, triggering an uncontrollable neck-biting spree against your innocent male peers. And they knew the time was right for this one because they finally had the perfect character through which to tell this story. Claire freaking Edwards. That's right, friends. She's back. Let's be real, who else in the cast could this possibly have happened to? I have a strong feeling Claire is going to be the hero of my channel this year. So let's dive right into her unfortunate, fanfiction-themed downfall. Season 9, episode 17, titled Innocent When You Dream. We'll see about that. We open with Declan Coyne and Catholic schoolgirl Era Claire strolling through a forest at night. And we know right away that this is a dream sequence because walking around at night with a boy, unsupervised, completely blind because you left your glasses at home. That's not the Claire we know and love. Speaking of glasses, Claire's got these freaky eyes on her. Claire's like, the night is ending soon. And Declan's like, we don't have much time. And then he goes to kiss her. But before he can, Claire wakes up in a cold sweat. She quickly grabs this vampire erotica novel called Fortnite off her nightstand. Real obvious Twilight parody for the times. Just making sure it's the culprit behind her dream, I guess. I don't know. I think it would have been more interesting if at the end of her dream, she woke up because before he kissed her, the sun came out and then she bursts into flames like a real vampire. I think that would have reflected her psychology a bit better. Anyway, that morning, Claire goes to school and she meets up with her bestie, Ali Bandari. We find out that Ali's the one who's been lending Claire all these Fortnite books. So everything that happens from here on out is technically her fault. Ali spots Declan Coyne and then she's like, doesn't Declan remind you of Edmund? That's the protagonist from Fortnite. And I'm sure he does, considering Claire's been putting Declan in Edmund's place in her fantasy dreams. But Claire's all, ew, no, get your mind out of the gutter, Ali Bandari. I only read vampire romance novels for the plot, okay? Not to make myself horny. And to prove her point, she steps right up to Declan and starts a really natural, casual conversation.
Yo, Prop Master Claire in the house.
Hey, Declan. See you at rehearsal.
It was kind of abrupt. Hey, Claire. I'll see you later, Declan. Ali teases Claire like, ooh, he wants to suck your blood. Spoiler alert, he doesn't. We're gonna skip the B-plot in this episode like usual, and we'll go straight to the play rehearsal after school. So if you didn't know, this season Declan is attending Degrassi, and he's working on his play production / directing dreams. I guess that was his thing. So he's directing and producing the school musical, and Claire is obviously his prop master. And upon rewatch, I'm already seeing all this shit I don't remember happening. Does anybody remember that this play starred Jenna and Peter? Peter? For real? You're doing this to me again? That just figures, doesn't it? I will never escape this floppy-haired pervert. I have a Peter curse. Also, isn't that just a classic Degrassi get on with your life kind of thing? Declan's all, hey, I know I'm partially responsible for your 48-hour meth addiction, but can't you do me a favor and star in my fucking musical play? Anyway, Shantae is also in the play, but she's late for rehearsal, so Declan snags Claire to come and read some lines for her in her place.
Can you get up here and read some lines?
I'm a behind-the-scenes person.
Yeah, Claire, it's fine. He's just asking you to stand in as a body. You're not running for the 2009 Tony Awards. Seriously, she looks so scared. Oh, wait, now I get it. She obviously doesn't want to get face-to-face with Peter. That makes all the sense in the world. His acting in this scene is actually so bad, it makes me a little angry. I didn't even know it was possible to get angrier with Peter. But every episode and movie I watch on here, they manage to pull it off. Peter goes to kiss Claire like he's a goat trying to start a fight. And Declan's like, no, not like that, you fucking freak. Let me show you how it's really done. You gotta tilt her head up like this, and then you smush your nose against her face like this. Unfortunately, he accidentally knocks Claire off balance with that move. Later that day, Claire goes to media class. Allie sits down next to her, and she finds that Claire's been channeling her sexual frustration through writing Fortnite fan fiction. Can we get a look at this impeccable writing? Why must I be a vampire? Do I want to do a dramatic reading of Claire's fan fiction now? 100% yes. Also, doesn't Mr. Simpson track all his students' internet activity when they're in his classroom? That poor man. You know his classes are chock full of degenerates too. Claire tries to pass it off like, oh my god, no, I'm not writing fanfic because I'm horny. I was just wondering what it would be like if the vampire was a girl instead of a boy. It's all just a really smart writing exercise. But Allie's like, are you kidding? This is the hottest shit I've ever read. Because I'm 14. You should totally post this on the fan boards so the entire rest of the internet can witness it too. Allie talks Claire into posting it anonymously, and Claire just copy-pastes it onto the forums as is. Like, you guys see this too, right? It's not a story. Like, I probably shouldn't apply my standards to a fictional 14-year-old's fan fiction, but I truly think not even teenagers are hormonal enough to get anything out of this. But Claire's like, okay then, on the fan boards, I'm gonna go by Madame Degrassi. Nobody will ever be able to narrow that down. We cut to the next play rehearsal the following day. Allie catches Claire on her way in, and she's all, oh my god, Claire, the fandom's going so nuts for your fan fiction. 4 stars, best single plotless paragraph we've ever read. So sexy and hot. But then they overhear Holly J. Sinclair reading that exact sexy paragraph out loud to somebody else, just a few feet away. And obviously Holly J. is getting a huge kick out of it because Claire didn't even bother to change Declan's name. I don't know how Claire let that slip her by before brainlessly uploading it to the internet just because Allie told her to. Declan comes over, and of course Allie asks him if he's read the stories. Yes, plural, because since the last cut and now, Claire has written another one and posted that online too. She's become a monster. Declan responds that Holly J has been reading them to him as of last night, and he doesn't seem that bothered by it, which it makes sense for him, honestly. I mean, it's just another affirmation that all the girls in school want a piece of him. Same old for Master Coin. What's getting to me, though, is the way that he basically agrees that the fanfiction was good, which makes me feel like I'm insane. And it only encourages Claire to write even more, because I guess now she feels like she's found a way to connect with Declan even though she can't be with him. Even though that way is literally Declan's real girlfriend mockingly reading Claire's fanfiction to Declan while they laugh about it together. And now Claire feels so emboldened at this point that once Declan's back is turned, she steals his sweater. Like, freak mode activated. I didn't steal his sweater because it makes me horny, okay? I stole it for the plot. Because I'm a Catholic. Later in the library, Allie catches Claire writing yet another Fortnite fan fiction, so she's getting concerned.
You heard Declan, he loves it.
No, Claire, Declan loves listening to Holly J read your fanfiction out loud. You are the stalker that the stalkee and his real girlfriend make fun of together. And then Allie spots Declan's sweater in Claire's bag, and she calls her out for that because seriously, what the fuck? Dude, it took you like 24 hours to escalate to sweater theft. I mean, luckily for her, Declan's probably the kind of person who wears a sweater once and then tosses it in the garbage, so I doubt he's even noticed. But Allie still puts her foot down and she forces Claire to put the fanfic away for a moment and come step out into the sunshine. Allie also points out that she's helping Connor throw a party at his place. I don't know what it's for, but I don't think it's important anyway. So Claire agrees to take a little bit of time off from her flourishing fanfic empire and go with Allie to Connor's party. When she gets there, she strikes up a friendly conversation with Wesley over the impressive chip buffet.
Impressive chip buffet.
Well, where do you stand on the great Pringles versus pretzels debate?
Yes. That famous debate that people have all the time. I too would like Claire's take on this one. Just kidding. Claire's an obvious Pringles girl. She likes her snacks like she likes her fanfiction. Addictive. And those salty burns you get inside your lips after you eat a whole sleeve of them help her pretend she has real vampire teeth. Allie interrupts this riveting chips conversation to kick off a game of 7 Minutes in Heaven. If you haven't heard of that game, then you might be a Gen Z kid of any social standing, and you're probably wondering to yourselves, wow, did millennial teenagers really play this stupid game? And the answer is no. Your instincts are good on that one, like always. That game was not a thing. Like, I didn't even know theater kids who played it, and it's a very theater kid coded kind of activity. I don't know, I could be wrong. If I am, let me know in the comments. Poor sweet Connor is like, do we have to make out? And lucky him, he gets to hold the timer instead, and he's so happy about this. And I'm very happy for him. By the way, I love how Allie's the one who's basically unleashing a bunch of hormone-frenzied teenagers into Connor's closet. Connor, who lives with one of their teachers, mind you. And she's just being like, go nuts! Have whatever kind of sex you want in there. And wouldn't you know it, Wesley and Claire are the first couple to get sent to the closet. They are so awkward. Wesley kicks it off by complimenting Claire's abstinence ring, which kind of puts a damper on the situation already, but I do like how Wesley reacts like, oh, okay, so we're not going to get far, but that's perfectly fine. But Claire is surprisingly open to trying out kissing with him. So they go for it. But it sucks her right back into her Declan Forest fantasy dream brain. So we cut away to that for a second. Dream Declan is like, we can't. We mustn't. And Claire's like, oh my god, no, I need this. So then in the dream sequence, Claire bites down on Declan's neck. But she doesn't realize that in real life, she is biting on Wesley's neck. And now it's his turn to feel creepy. When Claire snaps out of it, she is so embarrassed. She just takes off and runs all the way out of the house. And Connor follows her. He's like, wait, you're only at 1 minute and 42 seconds. You're breaking the rules. Connor's the best. This is a Connor appreciation channel. Then we cut back to Wesley in the closet for a second. All things considered, he's obviously feeling like a man, for probably the first time. The next time we see Claire, she's walking into the dot the next day. She runs right into Wesley and Connor.
Oh, that was the best minute and 42 seconds of my life.
I love how this indicates that Connor had to tell Wesley exactly how much time he spent getting his neck bitten. Wesley probably asked how long he was in there. He's probably been repeating that number to himself over and over ever since. He invites Claire out for gelato to thank her for thoroughly rocking his world, but she declines. Claire goes to sit with Allie instead, and she gives her back all of her Fortnite books. She declares she's not reading them anymore because they're turning her into a pervert. Allie's like, sure, blame the books. But Claire's like, sexual acts begin in the mind, Allie. This is driving me to go against my abstinence pledge. Can't have that. But Claire, can we be real for a second? Because you were not about to lose your virginity to Wesley back there. We all know that. Allie's like, chill. Claire, it's normal to think about sex. And Claire switches to judgmental mode. She's like, maybe it's normal for you, but it's not normal for good, prim, and proper me. And now it's making me more like you. If I'm not careful, I'm gonna make a mistake like you did with Johnny. Because remember, Allie had sex with Johnny a while back and that didn't go well for her. Allie calls Claire out for being judgy, as she should. But Claire doesn't even back down. She's like, I'm not judgy, I'm principled. Now that's my least favorite word lately. Principled is basically what people want to be called when they're so inflexible with their beliefs only because they're afraid of what people will think about them if they're not. In this case, Claire's scared that God will literally come down and shoot lightning at her from the heavens just for growing up. At the next play rehearsal, Claire gives Declan his sweater back, claiming she found it backstage. But Declan's already looking upset, so then Claire asks him if he's okay. He's like, look, can you tell me something straight up? Like, am I doing okay with this play thing? Claire gets straight into ass kissing him. Oh my god, Claire, you're so amazing. Oh, this is definitely not a stupid idea for a musical. I forgot to mention this musical is called Space Awakening. And like usual, I don't remember what it's about, but if it was written by a Degrassi student, it can't be that good. Then Declan's all, I've just never directed a musical before, and I really want to nail it this time. Really sink my teeth into it, you know? Yeah, I'm sure Claire knows the feeling. And then Claire's like, oh my god, baby Declan, you can talk to me whenever. So after we cut to the Sav B story for a second, he's making a music video. Fuck it. We come back to Claire in the drama department again, and she's sleeping on this chaise set piece. Bad idea, Claire. Pro tip, always avoid the high school drama department chaise because ungodly things have happened on that thing and it's been building up for at least 30 years. Besides that, sleeping on it is obviously going to trigger another dream sequence. This time in the dream, Claire wakes up to see Holly J and Declan arguing in the doorway, shrouded by smoke. Declan's being all, I just want to be with someone with passion, with imagination. And Holly J is like, you mean like Madame Degrassi? Claire's brain is going nuts with this one. HJ storms out. Declan spots Claire and he's a little embarrassed at first, but then he's like, hey, can I take you up on that talk you promised? Then he starts doing all this dumb, like, character from a YA novel kind of stuff.
Claire, sometimes I look at your face and it's like you're the only one that understands.
This face, Declan, the face that says I shower with the lights off because God is always watching, that face. And then Declan sweetly pushes aside Claire's hair, then leans down and chomps her on the neck. And right then, IRL, Declan wakes Claire up. He's like, hey, girl, you got a job to do, right? Show me the props you made for my musical. Claire escorts him to the props table to demonstrate the lunch trays with bagels and Doritos glued onto them. I'm sure she worked very hard. Declan's like, whoa, those Doritos don't even slip. Good job with the Elmer's glue, Claire. This is why we keep you around. Claire's like, here's the pile of wood. And here's the trees. Declan's looking around like, nice. Nice. He leans down to one of the trees like, dang, is this natural moss? Claire, you're a marvel. But this leaning position he's in has accidentally exposed a lot of neck surface area to Claire. It's all just hanging out by her nose now like she's supposed to do something about it. And before she can control herself, she just starts kissing his neck. Unwarranted. Declan's like, did you just do that? Wait, are you Madame Degrassi? Claire's like, and Declan's about to say something else, but he cannot. Like, what do you even say if you're him right now? He just mentally shuts down, turns around, and walks out of there, leaving Claire all mortified and alone. I honestly have no idea how Claire's even still breathing or standing after that. If it were me, I think I would have gone instantly brain dead. They'd have found me crumpled up on the floor the next morning, in permanent rigor mortis cringe form. The next day, Allie's getting a huge kick out of Claire's Declan's next story, especially considering that the last time she saw Claire was dragging Allie for doing all this stuff that she regretted. And then Claire says that she's quitting the musical. So she stops by the drama department later, and as if this couldn't get any worse, Holly J. Sinclair arrives before Declan does. The second Claire sees Holly J., she is on her feet like, "Please don't kill me, evil queen. I am but a Catholic. I know not what I do." Holly J is like, "I was totally gonna kill you, but Declan talked me out of it." And then she asks Claire why she took down her Fortnite stories last night. I love how this confirms that Holly J is checking this Fortnite site basically nightly to see if there's more material to read to Declan. And Claire's like, "Well, I had to delete them because I was being such an out-of-control, sex-obsessed sicko." But then Holly J actually reassures her. She's like, "Look, you're not a pervert, you're just going through puberty, and it's nothing to be ashamed of." And honestly, if writing those fanfics will keep you from sucking on Declan's neck, I am all for it. It's a really interesting take to see from Holly J at this point in the series. I get it though. It is not worth this girl's time to hold a grudge against this poor, awkward, repressed 9th grader. And then Holly J basically reveals that she is kind of a fan of Claire as a writer. So I guess that was the motivation. She just liked getting to read horny fanfics about her own boyfriend. Okay, I guess that's one of those things. You never know how nice it is till it happens to you. But Holly J does make sure to warn Claire. Kiss his neck again, and it's all over for you. Then Declan comes in, and Claire gets to apologize to him directly. And he's like, "Look, we'll just pretend this never happened." Though I think he probably just doesn't want to lose his connection for natural moss for his future musical producing endeavors. So cool. Claire's in the clear. And to celebrate, she just whips open that laptop and starts immediately writing a new installment of her Fortnite fanfiction. She can't even wait till she gets home. And the freeze frame. Good lord, this freeze frame. Well, that's what went down on Claire's fanfiction adventure. Do you think this was the cringiest Degrassi plotline of them all? Or is there an even cringier one you can think of that you would like me to cover? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you liked this video and you want to be notified whenever I make more videos, you're gonna want to hit that subscribe button. But that's enough from me for today. Remember to avoid that theater department chaise. Okay? This is your final warning. And I'll see you next time.